Hello and welcome to the Madecast, the official podcast of the Museum of Art and Digital Entertainment, a series of lectures on video game history as part of the Made's ongoing effort to preserve history through teaching and displaying playable exhibits of rare games and consoles.
While life in the time of COVID has forced us to close our doors, the support of people like you has allowed us to continue to bring history to you through lectures and interviews like the one you'll hear in a few minutes. I'm Chin.
I'm Miles.
And I'm Red. This week, we have an interview with one of the Made's oldest volunteers, Mr. Sean Barber-Crane. He has helped get this museum up and running since before it was an official idea. He's been a steady man on the street, championing the museum and getting the word out. He is a supremely valued member of the team, and we're very excited to have him on and get him to talk about the museum with us. But before we get into this interview, we have a little bit of news. There's some big stuff going on, just a little bit big. First and foremost, E3 has officially been canceled for 2022, both physical and digital. They're looking to go for a new, exciting 2023 relaunch, in-person and digital event. So once we have more word about the reinvigorated showcase for 2023, we'll give you more updates as they come into the rest of the world.
It's weird. Did they do it in 2020 and 2021? Because I feel like there was some kind of event.
2020 was canceled. 2021 was a digital-only event.
That's right.
When they announced they canceled the in-person event for 2021, that was back in January. Mm-hmm. So this year, announcing it in April, canceling the event entirely, seems a bit late, but maybe it'll be better for the rest of the developers to have another year to really get back on track and make it a very, very exciting E3 once it returns.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be wondering if we're ever able going back to the old days where we have all the big game developers going into one single exhibition to show all the new stuff to the people, because it seems like during the times of remote era and COVID, those game devs are starting to develop their own announcing program, just like the Nintendo Direct. The Sony do their stuff, and I think even Xbox do their stuff. So yeah,
I'm hoping, I think that is dawned from the lack of E3, but I certainly hope that E3 becomes, they save all their big and special announcements for the expo. I mean, because it's also kind of, it's similar to the GDC, except it's more just announcing to the public and everything. It's like, hey, look at what we have to showcase. Come try out the newest things, because E3 has historically drawn so many people. It's really a lot of people's, the public's first hands-on experiences with a lot of the new technology. So hopefully we'll get back in the future. In other slightly more real-world and consequential gaming moves, Wargaming.net has officially their World of Tanks and World of Warships. They have
Warplanes?
officially.
I think they have 3.
Yeah. Yes, and Warplanes, but they are officially closing and removing their studios in both Russia and Belarus as part of a response to the ongoing conflict, which is a big move for them to be leaving their home country's state of thing in response to what's been going on. And yeah, they fully know that they're gonna suffer some financial consequences, and they expect to, but we will see what happens within the future with Wargaming.net and how they operate for the future. But it's a very bold move, and I think it'll hopefully it'll be good for them in the long run. I really wish the best for that decision. Hopefully it'll, and they've also halted all their advertising as well, especially with the World of Tanks and everything with what's been going on. We shall see. In other news, both The Witcher 4 and the next Tomb Raider have been announced that they are in development in Unreal Engine 5, which, as of today, has its, as today of this recording, which is April 5th, it enters its full release. So go, all developers out there, go give it a shout out and go give it a shot. Unreal Engine 5, you can fully play it now, or not.
That's what you do with it.
Yeah, you can play Unreal Engine 5 right now. Free download is.
I cannot wait just to open the sample project and then wait for another 30 minutes for it to compile all the shaders before I can actually try something on it.
It's gonna be exciting. It'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I think that was like a big announcement from CD Projekt Red to switch fully to Unreal Engine 5. I think that was a really cool move. In a video announcement of them moving to that, they were talking about, there was a demo of medieval environments showcased that even on a board had a sign that said Monster Hunters Wanted, and one of the creators and developers was like, did you make this for us? Did you make this demo purely for us? But it's going to be exciting. I think it'll look really great. In other new announcements too, we also have Overwatch 2's new announcements, with a few leaks coming out before the open beta, which is PC only as of April 26th. You will be able to get your hands on Overwatch 2's beta. They've announced they haven't announced, but there's been leaks that have said that they may have a guild system, potentially a battle pass, which is not unheard of for many mobile shooters and stuff like that. We also have a new announcement saying that there may be a PvE boss fight mode, which feels a little bit like Overwatch's take on a Destiny raid, but we shall see. That's exciting announcements for me. I loved Overwatch. I think Overwatch 2 is going to be a nice big future for.
That sounds pretty exciting, but just let's hope they're not going to take that burden of so-called Destiny killer again, because so far most of the game who take this burden doesn't end up too well. I would rather them being just Overwatch 2 than another Destiny killer.
Yes. I don't think it's going to be a Destiny killer. I mean, the game mode itself was very PvP to begin with.
So to me, it seems like Overwatch 2 is shaping up to be more of a live service game, like Destiny or Rainbow Six. The new Rainbow Six is kind of a live service. I'm not sure how it's going to work out for them, because Overwatch 2 feels more like a competitive game, like, I don't want to say like Dota or League of Legends, but like it's more of a competitive shooter like Counter-Strike than it is like Destiny. Like Destiny has sort of an open world, and there's, NPC enemies and, waves of stuff, and you can fight them, and there's bosses and stuff. Overwatch's core felt more like a, I don't know, like a Team Fortress 2 kind of thing. Like, I don't know how well it's going to translate from one medium to the other.
It's going to be an interesting. I mean, this is all just leaks and kind of speculation from all the info that we've heard, and we won't really. I'm going to definitely apply to see if we can get a little bit of hands-on that open beta for Overwatch 2, but that'll be exciting to see how it actually plays out. Because you're right, I don't think they're gonna. It is much more of a. Yeah, it's much more of a competitive aspect than the live and just keeping it active and repetitive. Like almost similar to Fortnite, but a little bit. I mean, a little more serious. Not quite as many product placement ads as Fortnite seems to be having recently. But I feel like it's going to be going an exciting new way. Like keeping it live, I think, is going to be important because Overwatch, the original Overwatch, also had various updates and things that were required. So it's going to be like updates and new game modes and special events. It's not something that we haven't seen before, but it'll be exciting to see what path they go through, especially given all of Blizzard's woes over the past few years. Hopefully this turns out to be a saving grace for all the developers and the people who have worked on their game that have been innocent bystanders in the in the saga that has been the past few years.
That whole disaster.
So,
yeah,
it'll be exciting. But I think that's all the time we have for the news right now, and we are going to throw it over to an interview with Mr. Sean Barber-Crane. And here it is. All right, and welcome back to The Maid. We are here with our special guest, one of the longest running volunteers at The Maid, and our dear ambassador to Oakland, Mr. Sean Barber-Crane. Sean, welcome onto the podcast.
Hello, everybody. How you guys doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good out here. So how long exactly have you been volunteering for The Maid?
Ooh, altogether 15 years now. You really want to put it on the dot and on the month? 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So you were there like kind of at the original sparks and ideas about how The Maid was starting, correct?
Very much so. Very much so. Noise Bridge in San Francisco. It was on the mission. It was a hacker space. And yeah, just came to me with an idea long ago. And everything is just kind of written in stone now.
Yeah, it's incredible. And for some of our new listeners, we're going to have another episode talking about the big announcement that we just got back from a meeting about. But that's some more exciting news. So what is some of your favorite memories of working at The Maid and being a part of it for such a long time?
I remember my very first GDC ever that I went to. I think it was 2007, I want to say. And I was in the Moscone South where the Microsoft booth used to be. And at the time, it was Halo Reach was out. And I was, on my little break and doing my thing and this and that. And a shadowy figure just walks by, just in a green blazer and some blue jeans and white tee, and had a Corona in his hand, and he was just like, "Hey kid, you good?" The thing, I turned around, "Thank you very much." "Oh my God, you're Paul Allen. You're the second richest man in the world." And he was just passing by Microsoft, and when Microsoft was really big in the GDC in the beginning, I just want to explain what GDC is. GDC, the difference between GDC and what E3. E3 is where the big boys of all the 7 continents and 5 oceans of the world come to play. GDC is where all the little guys of all the 7 continents and 5 oceans of the world, where they come to play and gather and whatnot. So just wanted to explain to everybody. Yeah. So this will be my 13th year doing that, and it's just, I'm never bored. It just gets better every year. It's never a time where it's like,
yeah.
No, never that. Never. Never.
It's GDC is really a great experience. It's just so much fun. It's so awesome to get like to the full extent of the word, to see like the beginnings of all these different games, what's the new breakthroughs going on in tech involving all these games. It's an amazing it's an incredible experience, like you said. Do you have any like funny inside stories about like some of the like the early location of The Maid and some other places where we've been?
Let me think. I remember when shout out to Mr. Christopher Wolf. I pray
Mm-hmm.
that he doesn't, kill me for what I'm about to say. Permission to speak freely. But I remember when me and Wolf, when we were at the Paddle Law Firm building on 16th Street, we used to both do security on the side as we were doing this and the cataloging at the time. But I remember when me and him used to sleep in the first classroom that we made, and it was just in shifts, and it was just yeah. And we ran into him at the same time when we were on the job too. So yeah,
Yeah,
that was it for me.
yeah, that must have been great being able to experience just the guarding of all this precious gaming history and just getting able to sleep with that and everything.
If we had every single name that has ever come through our doors still with us, we would have like a citadel in the sky or something like the Matrix or something. Like, oh my God, so much talent and wisdom and knowledge and enlightenment and accumulation. Like, oh my goodness, like just yeah.
Yeah,
And,
it's
and thank God
been
we're needed too. Thank God we're needed, not wanted.
yes.
There's a difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be really exciting once we get the new space open and are able to start showing everything off to everybody again. Like we'll definitely get some more exciting people like on the foot traffic side of things and create new memories in the future.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
so as the Maid's ambassador, do you want to tell us a little bit about your role in that and what you do, like what you do for the Maid and how you help get the word out to everybody?
Just really any way I can through communication on the street, Gmails, computer, just really, boisterous. I think the word I'm looking for. So
Mm-hmm.
that's just me. Just be boisterous. And I've been that, like I said, 15 plus years, and get to go back to the Flyers and get new cars. I'm like, oh yes, 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 yes. So like, oh man, just very excited, very
Mm-hmm.
blessed. I really also wanted to keep into everybody's mindset in the back of their mind and consideration. It's just like I said this from the beginning of this 500-pound gorilla that us and the rest of the world is fighting. It's like, listen, everybody, we are too smart, we are too intelligent, and too capable just to go away like that. Kind of like Winston
Mm-hmm.
Churchill, just never give up, kind of thing. We will not flag, we will not fail. So, and now we got our second
Yeah.
chance, and it's just like, sweet mother of God, like yes, yes.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, the resiliency of this museum is also something that's pretty amazing for everything that we've done and gone through over these past years. I mean, even through the pandemic and everything else, even before that. So there's going to be
Even with
some.
me and Shem and Alex have agreed on, it's just like we all three came together and just said, this is too big for one individual. Really is though. It's like the Golden
Oh
State
yeah,
Warriors, a real team, real unity. Like this is too big for one person. Like, oh my goodness.
yeah. There's a lot of inner workings that need to be done, like both logistically and uh, on the presentation side of like all of our exhibits and everything too. There is the Maid is the volunteers. There is no Maid without any of these volunteers. So it's really something that is kind of touches your heart a little bit. Just get to see everybody like putting in the work and caring about all of these. I mean, all these games, making sure they're playable for everybody. It's a really beautiful uh, a really beautiful union of all these volunteers that care about the Maid's mission, about preservation and passing along knowledge to future generations of game makers.
We're also kind of one of a kind too.
Yes,
Kinda.
yeah. I mean, we're very one of a kind for like what we do, and especially personality wise for everybody else. There are places that like do a similar thing, but we are we are definitely one of a kind in the sense of everything that we do.
I just kind of always looked at it like the difference between places like the Emporium and High Arcade and the Pinball Museum is like we're like a sixth grade biology frog project. We want you to get in there, we want you to dissect it and feel it and touch it and realize it and play with it and see it for yourself, kind of thing. It's like very hands on, very like get in there, learn, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Never no
Yeah, just
shyness
get
away. No
get
one's an
inside and
outsider. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Get in there.
just get your hands on some of the history of. I mean, like we talked about when we were at GDC this past time, having people get their hands on an Atari for the first time and actually being able to play some games and see what it was like. Um, it's it's kind of an experience that you're you don't really forget once you get your hands on it and like playing one of the biggest first release of consoles that you can get.
Memorabilia is big.
There's not many working Ataris anymore, so it's nice to have.
I remember one year when we had a ColecoVision die on this. I'm like, oh man, dude, remember that one GDC? Yeah,
Yep. It's a shame that so many of these older consoles don't last quite as long as we'd like them to. But it's all about keeping the history and preserving everything that we can. If we can find any spare parts and replacement parts, and anybody who knows how to work on them, we'd love to have that volunteer sense as well.
you can even understand that this is all just one big, with us, one big quote unquote game theory.
Oh yeah, this is it's absolutely game theory, just trying to maximize the potential of everybody and everything that we can provide, and the greatest experience that we can show for everybody else is the biggest thing that we want. And it's gonna be a very fantastic new chapter in the Maid's history going forward. This year is gonna be really exciting, and we're gonna have lots more new announcements and things to get going. So,
Hey, everybody heard me when I first came in. As I thought I was just gonna play cards here.
mm-hmm. I'm sure once everything gets set up, we will definitely have a few card nights and everything. The physical games.
You know why I said that though? Just looking back, I'm like, the times, I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Just getting everything together. It's gonna be really incredible to see everybody together again. Are there any? So going back to like some of the exhibits at the Maid, are there any specific exhibits that were some of your favorites in past or anything like that? Any ones of note that
Mm,
you remember?
I did appreciate our arcade booths, every single Neo Geo, every single
Yeah.
arcade game that ever. I did. I was kind of there, like I'm not gonna say it junkie or anything like that, but I did spend excessive time at those arcade booths. But we had all the Neo Geos. We had every single arcade game that has ever been in this country and in other countries. It's just like, okay,
Yes.
quarters.
Yeah. It's nice to actually get on and showcase it to other people and be able to play with everybody. Especially with, that's part of the Maid's mission as well, is with all of the like emulation of certain games, because you can't find these like old physical copies, but you can get the code and utilize them like we have on our arcade emulators. So you're able to play these old games in the same mode that they were showcased, uh, just with a lot larger catalog. So it's exciting to see. Yeah, it's exciting to see. Like the Neo Geo exhibit, just having every single Neo Geo game together on one system, and then you can explore all of those, is really cool and really interesting. Of course, it doesn't have the same thing as like the cabinet art or anything for those, but that's another thing why we have like some special limited edition versions of games
We
behind
had the manuals
glass.
for the King of Fighters, the original ones with the whole joystick. Like we had the original King of Fighter manuals, the ones where they were in, plastic and yeah. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Is there any out of the other consoles, is there a favorite one that you spent the most time with?
Ooh, I will say the 360. Surprisingly enough, especially with that Alien versus Predator game. Oh God, yeah. Surprisingly enough, 360.
Oh yeah. 360 is still pretty incredible. I still remember actually like having the Intellivision in the corner and being able to play that too. I always thought the Intellivision was such a unique system to go. They had like, just like having those little inserts that you place over the number pad, uh, essentially creating your controller, creating the different moves. I thought that was like a really
Yeah.
interesting way to do that. I was always wonder like seeing pictures of it. I always wondered how it was going to be like showcased. Wait, it's like, do you really just press the number in the direction? Is that the but they just have an overlay that you're allowed to see it. But the 360 was really have the 360 exhibit was always super nice. I mean, it's nice to see the middle ground of like the history area. I loved. I was much more of a PS3 era, PS3 gamer at that period in time. But
You have no idea how many red rings of death I got. Oh my god, on my 360, playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
oh yeah,
Back in the day, there used to be a card store on Piedmont Ave. There was Dr. Comics Mr. Games, which is still there, but there was also a place called Collector's Corner, which was more, they did cards and Ultra Pro and, Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh, but they also did hobby stuff like, baseball and
hmm
real hobby store. But they used to have a small, I forgot what the company is called, but they used to have a small little company there that for $60, they would repair your 360 if it had a red ring. And they did a pretty good job too. Because remember with
Ooh.
Sony, it's like you gotta go customer service USA, customer service Europe, customer service Japan. It's
hmm
just like, ooh, yeah. It's like that took time, but it's like that red ring was just like, Microsoft was back in the day, before they had
hmm
GitHub and all that, Yeah. It was like the red ring was like, oh, that was serious, They had to do something with that.
Yeah, there's definitely a few times where I remember having to change out a couple 360s because they had the red rings of death at the museum as well. That was always a lingering issue that needed to be addressed, but it ended up being mostly fine. Most of the time, it was mostly fine. Uh,
I hear that.
yeah. Is there any like so is with the museum and with going for like almost 15 years now, just still kind of staying strong? And what are some of the things that you're looking forward to see back at the museum?
Recreating a community,
I fully agree with that. Do you want to
recreating, reinventing, rejuvenating, resurrection is like we got to get like the Thanos snap. We got to get all our people back.
Mhm. Yeah, it's going to be nice and I believe it's going to be exciting getting the like you said, it's going to be exciting building that community. It's going to be really cool getting everybody involved and have them come check out what the Maid has to offer. Are there any other like exciting like outward events that you're looking forward to with the Maid? I know we've done like the outreach events in like Little Saigon and stuff.
Magfest, that's easy.
Mm-hmm.
Magfest,
Yeah,
that's easy.
Magfest is going to be.
It's like yeah, it's like just going to that and having that in my head, still having the badges. I'm like Magfest, that's
Mm-hmm.
easy. It's no contest.
Yeah, Magfest is going
Mm-mm.
to be another one. Do you want to explain to the people what Magfest is if they are unaware?
Ooh, I don't have a good definition, but I have a scenario though. The first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, when Shredder's headquarters was that funhouse that had all kind of things going on, blah blah blah. That's what MagFest is to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one just gigantic,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, funhouse, technological funhouse.
Yeah, for Magfest stands for the Music and Gaming Festival. Uh, Originally the Mid Atlantic Gaming, but it's a really exciting event. I look forward to one day attending it as well. I have yet to go, but I've
You would never thought they started in Baltimore, though. You would never thought that.
no. It's I mean, well, they also have the Mag West up in Portland and Seattle, which kind of like takes inspiration from it as well. It's it's a very incredible experience. Just a whole conglomeration of everybody attending a festival to celebrate. Oh, I remember. I did get to go to Magfest one year. That way they had it down in San Francisco. It was down by the shipping docks. There was like a warehouse where they had everything set up. That was very fun. Uh, but get to check out all these new indie developers showcasing their music for all these games. You get to check out some bigger companies showcasing just their new ideas and everything else. It's a really cool showcase to see all the new innovative ideas that everybody else has been having. Um, yeah, it's going to be so much fun to see everybody back again and get together with the same thing.
Kind of
Yep.
is. Kind of is. As I was in the first MagFest I went to was in Santa Clara at the Hyatt. Never forget that. Saw the brochure.
Yeah, it's an incredible experience that you will see. That everybody, all of you listeners, will hopefully get to see very soon. Or
Yeah, man. Just like I said, just it's like what Ari Gold said in Entourage. I'm just a passenger, lucky to have a seat. Nothing more.
yeah, it's
I never considered this work a day in my life ever. Like this is not work. Like no, 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 no.
mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't feel like definitely doesn't feel like work is when you have as much love and experience with it. It's also just such a unique environment and a unique place to like witness gaming history. Just the group of people, everybody involved is also a really incredible person. I mean, at the meeting today, we had numerous old people that I remember talking to before. Some of like the big
Oh
names and everybody that
God.
we've been helping out.
Oh
Uh,
God.
we have a lot to look forward to in this coming year. Uh, it's gonna be exciting. We're gonna have a lot more news and updates coming to you in future episodes as well. So here's looking forward. Hmm.
I guess what's just cool for me is just like even with all these old new faces. That's what I was saying earlier about continuity. Is just like when he started, I was there. When this person started, I was there. Like it's just seeing them all, just like, and I'm still here after all of that. It's just like continuity at its finest. It's like it's like even with the pictures, even Shannon said, "You're too many pictures." I'm like, dude, like yeah, just being there for all
Yeah, it's really incredible to see what we got going on. But there will be more on this new announcement on in the next episode and in future episodes. But I think that's about all the time we have for this interview. Sean, thank you very much for talking with us.
that. Thank you, bro.
And we will definitely see you on the floor at the museum very soon. And
Ladies and gentlemen, never grow up.
never grow up.
Never grow up.
Alrighty. Well, thanks again, Sean. We will talk to you again.
Thanks, man. Love you, brother.
Love you too, man. And we're back. Thank you again, Sean, for doing this interview. We're really excited for the future. We're going to have a couple big announcements coming up on next week's episode, hopefully, for the future of the Maid and what it means for us and in this podcast and everything else. It's going to be very exciting talking about the future of the Maid as well. I mean, it was great talking with Sean about all the every bit of history in the starting of the Maid and what we've been doing thus far. But in closing now, what has everybody been playing? Have you been building more spaceship smiles?
I'm still doing that. I'm splitting my time fairly evenly between Elden Ring and spaceship building. My two loves,
Yes.
being mad at myself and being bad at making space.
It's okay. Elden Ring is a great game. I've been playing that too. I haven't been playing it recently. I've had a busy past week, but I'm excited to get back into it as well. How far have you gotten in Elden Ring?
Oh,
Or
I just
which area
finished.
are you?
I don't know if I've finished any area, but I've just wrapped up sort of the main storyline in Liurnia.
Okay. Yes.
I've moved over back to the hellscape that is Caelid.
Yes. I have yet to fully touch Caelid because everything is mad at me.
It's not a pleasant place to be.
No. Everything is mad at me over there.
Yep.
I also recently beat Liurnia and then the Carrion castle to the north. Trying to move along to the Atlas Plateau and then going from there. I've found some like underground areas, but then I realized that like every time I go to a new area, the map just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I'm still just amazed at how large this open world map really is. I am and and then you realize that the entire map has a underground for the entire place. The entire underground is like the same size as the large map, and there's so much to this game. It's been so incredible. We're going to be talking about this game for a long time.
Yeah, it's like that cyberpunk thing. We gotta keep it.
It's like Cyberpunk, but with a slightly more successful launch. Slightly more successful. It's definitely helped take my attention away from Cyberpunk. Although I did like it, I don't know. I had the same syndrome with No Man's Sky at launch too. I was like, I love this game. It's great. It's very esoteric. It's a little like Star Trek in that there's not a lot of story, and you just read about the history. Read about the history of this universe and all these worlds by revealing one word at a time of these in ancient languages of 4 different languages. But Elden Ring is going to be with us for quite a long time. Have you been playing anything exciting, Chun?
I didn't do anything new other than opening more trap cards on my field. So
well, that sounds like very exciting in and of itself as well.
Yeah, it's very exciting until your opponents haven't answered it.
It's exciting
then
until
the fun,
the enemies figure your thing out.
Yeah, then the fun or in a sudden switch to your opponents, and yep.
Well, good luck to you and all of the trap openings.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's just about all the time we have for today's episode. We want to thank everybody for listening to the Museum of Art and Digital Entertainment's official podcast. If you have any thoughts, questions, corrections, or general museum ideas, please shoot us an email at info@themade.org.
We'd like to send out a big thank you to everyone who donated recently, and to our Patreon supporters who keep the Made afloat. Patreon donors get to listen to this podcast 1 week before it's released on major streaming services, and we continue that with future episodes.
This week's episode was brought to you in part by Brandy and Rob Walker. Thank you so much for your support. Till next time, I'm Miles.
I'm Chun.
And I'm Red. Thanks, and we will see you next week. Later, gamers.